So the Mechanicals, Bottom and Flute and Quince and the boys put on their big show, the hit of the wedding night, their comedy of Pyramus and Thisbe, or their tragedy of Pyramus and Thisbe. And they're not quite clear whether it's a comedy or a tragedy because their title says both. And Theseus gets an enormous kick out of this title. A tedious brief scene of young Pyramus and his love Thisbe. Very tragical mirth. He can't get over tragical mirth. Tedious, merry, and tragical, tedious and brief. That is hot ice and wondrous strange snow. I know the edition I ordered for you says wondrous strange black snow. That is an editorial choice. Sometimes that appears as wondrous strange snow and is even quoted that way. Your editors have reasons for what they did, including preserving meter, keeping Shakespeare's line from being a syllable short. But you should know that editors make these kinds of calls all the time. I'm more familiar with the wondrous strange snow version of the line. But back to the point. Now, tedious and brief, this is a problem. And as Philostrate or Aegeus says, depending on the version you get, yeah, actually this managed to be both tedious and brief. It's really short, and it's too long. 10 words long, they're all too many. And then it's tragical mirth. And you know, if you're in the performing arts, you shouldn't bill yourself as being tedious, as being boring. Come watch our boring ass show, not good PR. The thing about tragical mirth, being merry and tragical, is a moment where the boys have really gotten it wrong, or have they? Comedy and tragedy are supposed to be contradictions, and what our fellows have done is taken the story of Pyramus and Thisbe, a tragic classical story very much like the story of Romeo and Juliet, which Shakespeare is very familiar with. And it's about two star-crossed lovers with dueling feelings. They run off into the night to get together, and mishaps occur, and they die. So sad, right? They both end up committing suicide, like those crazy teenage kids from Verona we all know about. The classic authorities are very clear. A play is a comedy or a tragedy. That's it. Everything's very funny, or nothing is funny at all. It is all very serious, or hey, it's not. Shakespeare in this is a comedy. Shakespeare himself tends to mix these genres. Yes, it's called comedies class, and these are comedies. The endings are comedies, though you might find some endings this semester you're not happy with. But tragical mirth is part of what Shakespeare does, because Shakespeare understands that although the rules handed down from the Greeks and Romans say it's comedy or tragedy, all comedy or all tragedy, no chocolate in anybody's peanut butter, no peanut butter in anybody's chocolate, Shakespeare understands that that is not the world we live in. We do not live in a world where the comic and the tragic are neatly divided. Oh, unfortunately not. We live in the world around us, which is both hilarious and frequently sad. Tragical mirth is where we live. It's not just Shakespeare's personal innovation that does this. He has years, indeed centuries of English theatrical tradition behind him. Tradition that was considered folk tradition. This is just a low art that Shakespeare takes seriously. A lot of like serious religious drama with a serious religious point in the Middle Ages had ridiculous humor stuck in it in various places to keep the crowd around for the important religious lesson at the end. So the Pyramus and Thisbe play is ridiculous. We're taking a tragical story and playing it for less because you got it wrong. It should be sad and it's not. But Shakespeare is always mixing the tragedy and the comedy. Remember, this is a comedy. This is a comedy where in the first act, somebody threatens to execute somebody, right? Marry the boy your father wants, or I will execute you. Get it? Not even the last time, not the first or last Shakespeare play that includes a death threat or a threat of execution in the first scene, right? Death doesn't go away just because we're in a comedy. fear of death doesn't go away just because we're in a comedy. Love makes us all ridiculous. Everybody plays the fool sometime, but we still live in a world with mortality and danger. The Pyramus and Thisbe plot, where lovers who are forbidden by their parents to get together, run off into the woods, and there are mishaps, sounds like the beginning of the plot of this play. My father forbids us to get married. Let's run off into the woods by night, and we'll go there. Then things don't go as planned. Here, the mix-ups all ends up in laughter. In Pyramus and Thisbe, it ends up with with a double suicide, right? Your editors have put this play right after Romeo and Juliet because clearly Shakespeare's thinking about these plays. He's both thinking about this same comedy tragedy. The Romeo and Juliet plot is basically the Pyramus and Thisbe plot, and there, everything's funny. In a comedy, you write a letter and it goes to the wrong person. The letter you write doesn't go to somebody, the one you intended, but somebody else. It's great. Merry mix-ups ensue. In Romeo and Juliet, the letter you write goes to the wrong person, and 3 promising young people are dead. Which is it? It depends on the outcome. But it could go either way. The Pyramus and Thisbe play is a comment on the main plot of the lovers who got away with it, and so it's a comedy. Pyramus and Thisbe could have gotten away with it too, they just had bad luck.